Hey everyone, welcome to Love Your Body podcast. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who takes time out of their day to listen to me talk about health and relationships and fitness and food and loving your body, fighting for what you want, get your movement in. I've heard so much just a resounding amount of positivity related around this podcast. And so I want to give a huge shout to Spread the Positive for, having me and and collaborating with me all these years. And it's just been great. So this is something that I use for my own personal outlet. This is something that I, have enjoyed and always look forward to. So I just want to start off on a positive note because it's been a freaky month. So this is the, week of the show and I'm ecstatic, obviously, but I also want to say this podcast is sponsored by Fight Energy because it's the only thing I'm running on right now. If for those of you that don't know, Fight is my energy booster supplement packed full of vitamins, all good stuff, real clean, just tastes so great, but it's super refreshing. But it is one of those, it's just a great pick me up in the middle of the day when you need to record a podcast or when you need to get your movement in or literally do anything. So I am super grateful for that product. But yeah, so pretty much today what I wanted to talk about is, we talked last week about the bodybuilding show and Tyler had interviewed me and everything and had said, just about how this process has been going and just how I am, feeling overall, the difference between strongman, bodybuilding, all that stuff. And something that I want to point out is, I think it is so interesting because I don't know. It's always so interesting. Every part of my journey has been this crazy, um, realization, I guess you can say, where I just continue to learn more and more about myself. And you're probably like, oh yeah, duh, you do so much, you should probably learn about, you probably are learning stuff every day. And it's like, but really I am learning so much every day. Just even my mental state. Like I have realized I have a lot of anger and that's more from it's more of I don't want to say anger, but more of not being able to deal with people's nonsense, right? Which we knew that, stop the nonsense. But even more heightened when I'm in this kind of caloric deficit a little bit and whatever. And so it's really taught me a lot of patience. It's taught me to not say things the whole saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. And it's really helped me to sit back, internalize it, be like, okay, that happened, and then get over it, right? Because there's been several things that have happened, business related and personal, this whole month that I'm just like, man, I don't know, I just would never thought, I'd be like, okay, this is a regular thing, just redo it, like we do every month or every few months or whatever, and then something completely catastrophic has happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how does this happen? And it's not for lack of scheduling. I've been on top of scheduling. I've been on top of time. I've been very regimented, very organized. But it just goes to show you that you are not in control and you will never be in control. And I think that we can strive, not for perfection, but strive for that freedom of I have my schedule, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But if you're a mom listening, if you're somebody that, works a hectic job, you have a hectic lifestyle, whatever, especially if you don't have a healthy lifestyle, you may feel very out of control. And so with this week, looking at everything from doing my workout this morning, my check-in, my workout, my posing, session, just getting everything organized, everything ready. It's one of those where like it does help me to feel very focused and very in control. And I love that. I love a schedule. I love a regimen. And that's what bodybuilding has helped me with, even more so than I already had before, which has been great because I've had to, not only get ready for this show, but run a business and be on 24/7 for clients. And you know what I mean? And help them. And then also with even my posting and my, with the podcast and then with my fight sales and with new shirts and, with doing things with different, news segments or if it's magazines or whoever, there's so many different elements and so many different things going on. And to orchestrate all that and manage all that. Meanwhile, getting the allotted 6 to 8 hours of sleep that I have been getting, which has been great, because I used to never prioritize sleep. Just getting that done, it's just like you feel just so accomplished, you know. So the biggest thing I could say with that is I think a lot of people look at healthy lifestyles like, man, it's just like I don't like the work it's going to take and the time it's going to take and the this and that. And I'm like, guys, like I've had a lot of people, a lot of clients have realizations that they're like, man, I meal prepped on Sunday, which took 3 hours, but then, I just grabbed my veggies and I grabbed my fruits and I was good to go for the whole week at my job. And it's like, exactly. Like it is that planning, that preparation, and planning and preparing for everything, is so key. And, even if I wasn't doing a bodybuilding show, I still operate on that level of always kind of meal prepping or planning ahead. I plan my clients out a month out, some of them even more than that now. And just to, ensure that the schedule runs smoothly, to ensure that I get everyone in, to ensure that I help as many people as possible, with my podcast as well, like everything. So, that's how I operate. It might not be the vibe for you or whatever. It's just what I have found that works. And so when people ask me kind of like, with the weight loss and with the, everything I'm doing, um, it all directly correlates and stress and with cortisol levels and stuff. I mean, people say it all the time, but it really does. Stress can really affect you and can affect your digestive system, can affect bloating, can affect how you just feel, just your overall mood. And I will say that like when I did get stressed out last week about a bunch of stuff that happened with business stuff, and like when I got stressed out about it, like again, I got over it pretty quickly, which was great. But like I have my sensitivity with my bumps and stuff, my skin issues, and like they broke out, and like that's really like unsightly and unfortunate, right? And it was just one of those moments where like it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm embarrassed to be on stage in a bikini with my bumps like showing. No, I just don't wanna feel them, I don't wanna see them, I don't wanna look at them, you know what I mean? So, it doesn't always come back to other people, and I think people forget that. I think we're very self-absorbed, and I get it. I talk about myself a lot, I understand, like and again, I'm trying to help and trying to, like, help you move through all this and navigate so you never have to feel how I felt, throughout my journey and stuff like that, and give you kind of a leg up on that, but truthfully, they was like, okay, well, let's be proactive. What can you do? Okay, got some cream to put on the bumps. Okay, great. Make sure we're getting up a little bit earlier to take more showers throughout the day. Make sure we're bringing extra change of clothes, no exceptions. Like it really is like you got to run a tight ship, to get everything on point. And yeah, and so I'm excited today. I get my facial, I get my chiropractor appointment, I get my massage tonight. Like, oh, it's gonna be amazing. And get to kind of reset and relax because that is a part of a healthy lifestyle regimen too. And again, with working my job, which is I don't even say full-time job with Dani D Fitness, it's my life. And with doing that and prepping for this, you have to take those times. To have that self-care as well. But something I did want to talk about was it's interesting. So I've gotten a lot of things from people that say, wow, like you're such an inspiration or man, you're such an inspiration or whatever it is. And I watch my videos. I mean, I know what I post and I know that it's motivational and it helps people grind and helps people like get out there. And I love that. But it's so interesting to me, like, because on some level, it's almost like why? Do you find it inspirational? Because when I was first starting out, I always thought that it was because I was larger bodied and that's why people thought maybe like I couldn't do those things. And so they were shocked. And then that became like an inspirational type of vibe, if that makes sense. Because it is inspirational when you see somebody that's like been putting in work and whatever. But it's always so funny because I never know how to take it. And you would think that I would get used to it by now. And so it's just interesting. But yeah, somebody said to me today, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I feel that, but at the end of the day, guys, like this is just like what I do. Like it's not because I'm not getting paid to do a bodybuilding show. I'm not getting paid to work out. I'm not getting paid, it's none of that stuff. It is just who like I am and who I want to always be and always grow to like show that and showcase that, you know what I'm saying? That like I will not be outworked because like movement for me has always been natural. Dancing my whole life, like when I danced, I would dance after school from 3:30 to 5:30, and then I would go from 6:15 to 9 for competitive dancing. I mean, I did that like every day, you know. I danced every day for hours, except for Sundays, you know. I took every class possible at my dance studio, Dance Works here in Murfreesboro. I competed on weekends. You know, I never we had a 2 week break in the summer, and that was like it. And that was like, you know, I was even like dancing on my birthday, you know, every year. And then went to college, and it was the same kind of grind, not freshman year, but the sophomore year of like group fitness and being certified and all that stuff. And like, you know, teaching classes all day long every day. I mean, so it's like movement has like been such a very prevalent thing, a very prominent thing in my life, and I live for it. And a lot of people, it doesn't come as natural, but the thing is like, you know, with the strength training and stuff, like I had to learn it, and I still, and there's still things like machine work and cables that like, you know, it's still just a learning opportunity. It's not like I'm the best at doing that stuff, but it takes time, you know, but it's something like that is not the hard part for me. The understanding my body after it being put through all the diets and all the nonsense my whole life, like that has been the biggest thing, right? Because like I have done blood work, I have done all these tests, all these things like for a long time, especially my whole adult life. And they've always come back, even holistic doctors, functional medicine doctors, everyone. And it's that your thyroid is great, adrenal is great. This is great. This is great. This is great. You know, everything's great. So when I was larger and had more body fat, and where people were like, "Oh, well, like something must be wrong," or, you know, or something like that, it's like, no, that was just my body. But like I was still fit, and I was very capable of doing amazing things, as you all have seen on my Instagram or TikTok or wherever you follow. And so it's finding this like, you know, this differential, I guess, you know, from like when people say, you know, fit to healthy to whatever they're trying to say. And so when you do a blanket statement of just someone is FAT or someone's SKINNY, like it's not accurate. And so no matter how like quote unquote smaller I get or lean or however you want to say it, recomped, shaped out, whatever, you know, which I appreciate, of course. And I have worked hard, and I'm very excited about my, you know, strong arms and my legs and everything. And I love my body, you know, but I always have. And so it's one of those where I want us to be mindful that, you know, this is a journey of not just, oh, I can't wait to get to this size and this whatever. And like, I'm good, y'all. I ain't gonna be working out anymore. I'm not gonna be doing anything. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be sitting here eating pizza, training y'all. Like, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not, it's not that. It is. This is one step closer on my journey of like understanding my body fully and knowing like who I am and my best self, you know what I mean? And so that's where it's like it's so cool and exciting, because even my coach had said to me today like that we've been in like a prep phase this entire time, because I've been losing weight this entire time that I've worked with him for the past year. And it did take a full year to lose the weight that I've lost, which I guess we're coming at like 45 pounds, you know, if we're looking at a metric. And I don't know, with body fat, and I'm saying a regular, like before like this cut with the bodybuilding. Because if you don't know, there's a difference between like there's a off season and an in prep season, and then there's a cutting, right? So like that's like with strongman too, kind of where you like get like the water weight off and you just feel like you're leanest, you know, and all that. And so this isn't including that extra weight and that body fat. But you know, I would say the body fat, I think like 25%, maybe more, maybe 30%. So yeah, so I mean, a significant amount, which has been really great and really crazy to see. But yeah, so I've been doing that for the past year. And then from there, you know, it's one of those where like now we get to see how my body after the show and after the next show, after Rondell's show, we get to see how it, even recomps from there. And so like I'll regularly sit around a weight that I feel comfortable with all the time and just feel good in my body and just feel athletic. And that is what I'm really excited about, because that truly will be the test for my hormones to see, like, can I normalize at a new weight, new body size? It's like that. So the goal is not to just keep like getting smaller and smaller, and when how people have quote unquote been saying like waste away. And like someone at the gym said to me the other day, he's like, Danny, he's like, you like wasting away to nothing. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, on purpose? And I was like, no, I'm dying. And I just looked at him and he just like looked at me, and I was like, I mean, yeah, like the last few days of my life, I love to sit here and I wanted to come to the gym and train my class and like come see you. You know what I mean? And he just laughed. He was like, that was a good one, or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, like, no, like, you never know what is going on with somebody or why they're losing or they're putting on weight or whatever. And so I was just like, dude, like, no, like it's not even it's like on purpose. It's like, what do you think this is? It's just funny. I was like, yeah, I have a show that I'm getting ready for and things like that. And yeah, so it's just you always want to be super mindful of like how you approach these topics, with, you know, people who are changing their body and stuff like that. Because again, everyone that has said all these great things, it's like, well, when I sit back at my normal, not normal, but like this other weight after the show is done, is that any less valuable than the weight number that I got to before? Or would it even matter as long as I, looked good, right? So it's just, again, it's such a weird thing. It brings up all these different ideas and all these different things of how I'm learning how different people talk to different people and or talk to me and approach me and even just the aspect of like guys and how they have talked to me differently and treat me differently, or make more eye contact, or approach me or whatever. It is so wild to see. And then these are not people that are just like randomly on the street, or I'm like, oh yeah, they've never seen you before, Danny. Obviously they're gonna come up to you and talk to you or whatever. Like people who I've known and people I've talked to and and stuff like that. And they're just it's almost like they're just like shook, right? And if anything, if you're listening to this and you're like, man, like I'm sitting here on my Stairmaster, or I'm doing my cardio or whatever. And it's like, Danny, like I need to know like what it is I'm fighting for. It's like you have to find what it is that you want to fight for. Because for me, like I said, I'm fighting for my health and I'm fighting to correct, dieting when I was young. I'm incorrect and like help me to just like, again, get into a regimen and a healthy lifestyle that I want to enjoy. Now, let me remind you, this prep for this show, like is not the healthiest, option, but the bodybuilding workouts and the meal prep and stuff, that is a healthy option for long term. So again, like that is what I'm excited for. The show is just a little fun little treat to try this and like set the example and everything like that. So if you're sitting here and you're like, man, Danny, like, what do I fight for? Like, I really encourage you to, some people are fueled by negativity, right? Like you say, okay, I'm fueled by all those people who've talked negative to me. Truthfully, when I have done my most amazing things, I've been filled by positivity. When I deadlifted 425 with the conventional barbell for deadlift, I was thinking about when I used to be on stage dancing. And that was an incredible moment for me to lift that weight. And I just channeled that. I didn't channel any negative because I didn't care. I didn't care to think about anybody else or anything like that at that time. Now, I will say when I did the tire flip, what if you seen the original video, it was a minute long, but because you had a minute time to flip the tire. What happened was I went to lift the tire up and there's a perimeter of people around. And when I couldn't get it up, and like there's like 30 people who went before me and they couldn't get the tire up. Well, the tire falls, right? Literally, people are walking away. It was like I had one shot, right? One opportunity to make a statement to them, like to change like the way that they saw this whole strongman competition and saw all these other women fail at this feat of strength. And they walked away. The timer hadn't even gone off yet. They already discredited me. And I remember being like, oh hell no. Like, you know what I mean? Like I remember being like, all right, let's get back to it, And so I got under it And I ended up flipping it, but it was because it was right in front of my face. You know what I mean? And so, and I really, I take that example a lot of times when I'm trying to channel stuff, and it's not in a negative necessarily, as angry as I was at that moment, with the nonsense, but it was more of that feeling now of like, how people can be, where they're with you when they're with you, like, when everything's good, but the moment things get rocky, where they at, right? So some of you may be on your journey very alone right now. You may be going through a breakup, you may be going through a divorce, you may be going through a time in your life where you're so depressed and you just don't know what is next, and you got to put one foot in front of the other. And I feel you. I've been there. I get it. Um and I will say that it's one of those things where I hold on to that moment, that at the end of the day, it didn't matter if I was slipping a tire or what I was doing, but there were always going to be people that walked away. And here's the special part of it though. When I got the tire up and over, those people that had their backs turned to me, they will forever know that they missed that iconic moment that like everyone talked about and everyone saw, and ESPN and and E News and Sports Center, and like, you know what I mean? It's like they were there, but because they didn't believe in me for 1 minute, for 1 minute time, that they missed out on that. You know what I mean? So I hope that then moving forward, they would stay till the end for things, or they would commit to something, or they would again, believe in someone until they just like until the timer went off and they couldn't get that. You know what I mean? Like, and so yeah, so I think that it just truly relates to a lot of the stuff with this bodybuilding show. A lot of people are like, wow, like, you look great, but you're not going to be ready for the show. And that's the thing, guys, is like, again, these are the people that are turning their backs and walking away, right? But it's like, let me get under the weight. Let me get on stage. You know what I mean? Like, let me do my thing and just have fun and enjoy it. Like, I think the biggest question I've gotten is from everyone: are you nervous about being on stage? Are you nervous about being, whatever? I'm not nervous at all. Like, I think y'all are more nervous than I am. like I'm very excited. I have been performing since I was 3 years old on a stage. Been wearing fake eyelashes since I was like 5. For a lot of you that just had joined my journey when I got into strongman, you don't know that because you didn't see that. And so, that's why I want to share that with you guys. Like, I am used to tights and dance shoes and, the eyelashes and just everything. I love it. I live for it. Like, I am that person. But with strongman, like, it was cool to just kind of roll up in booty shorts, t-shirt. I still got my spray tans and whatever, but like, didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff and just compete. And that was awesome. I like that element of it too. But if I could have been on a stage flipping a tire, like, yeah, that just makes it all the better, right? Lights, camera, action, like that kind of thing. ESPN right there. I would love that. But that's just not how it was. And so with this, it's like, it's gonna be so much fun. And so I'm really pumped about it, and just to kind of feel that excitement, that rush again of competing. And so again, like, with every workout in mind, and now we're tapering down the water, and all those things, and I'll get to rest tomorrow and rest Friday, and just get ready. I'm just gonna like live it up and enjoy it, because after this is done, we're back to training. We're back on that grind. Like I said, once you meet a goal, and no matter how huge of a goal, no matter if it's going to a bodybuilding show, no matter if it's, going to be like Miss Tennessee or, Miss Universe, or if it's, just losing the weight that you've always wanted to lose, like, it's your life doesn't start at that moment. Your life doesn't begin then. Your life's happening right now. So it's just like, enjoy it, embrace it, have fun, like, party, love it, like, live it up, like. And that's something that I learned, I will say too, to really enjoy, was from Blake. He had told me at strongman competitions and stuff, he's like, this is the party, like, don't stress out about it if you miss a lift, like, whatever, like, let's have fun, let's like live this up and enjoy. This is the fun part. The training is the hard part. The getting up every morning before 4:30 or 5 a.m., that's the hard part. Like, if you watch on my Instagram, you'll see my montage of like my minute of the past year of workouts. And I think it's David Goggins or whoever was on the voiceover on the reel, but talking about like, it is that, like, you wake up in the morning, you wake up before 5 a.m. and you keep going, like, this is what you do. Like, this is what you this is who you are, you know? Um, and again, it's all a choice, guys. It's all a choice. At the end of the day, nobody's making you get up out of bed. You know, nobody is making you have a healthy lifestyle. If you want to eat what you want to eat, you do what you want to do. You know, you have to find what works for you. But if you're one of those people who was like me, who before I ever started my healthy lifestyle journey, couldn't look at myself in the mirror, I would get ready and look at my face, and that was it. I until I had clothes on fully, and then we look at my outfit and just be like, okay, I guess this is what it is. I never got excited about clothes like I do now. I never got excited to just like throw on, like I never could just like throw on an outfit. You know, I could never just do those simple things that everyone else around me seemed to be able to do. And so it's very special what this lifestyle and what feeling like an athlete and feeling like your best self can do for you. So I encourage you, if you are a goal oriented person, you know, it doesn't have to be a bodybuilding show. It could be a strongman competition, a powerlifting meet. It could be, um, just goals of like for your mental, getting a therapist, or your goal of working with a personal trainer. Would love to work with you. Virtual, one-on-one, hybrid, whatever you want, like I'm here. Um, and so again, and then another thing about that's all this too is, like I said, I have a lot going on, right? But I know how to prioritize. I know how to fight for what I want while helping others fight for for what they want. And so it is a cool it's pushed me to be my best self, to be able to still operate on this intensity level, and it makes you feel kind of invincible. It makes you feel very grateful. It makes you feel very thankful. So I'm excited. I'm thankful for my team. I don't have like a bodybuilding team like everybody else does or whatever that I've seen, but I have like my coach, Heavy D Training, on Instagram, Alexa Goodman. She's my posing coach. I have my support team, Rondell Clark and Katie, who is Hybrid Strength on Instagram. I have Tyler Gentry, who's here, Spread the Positive. I have all these people, Shauna with my spray tans, like, all these people who, Chasing Fit, Lorraine, all of them, my ambassadors, Jordy, hello, Jordy, like everybody, who has shared some part of this journey, who has been there for me at my lowest, who has listened to me, you know, not complain. I don't think I've ever complained. I've just been like, I don't know, man. I don't like what's the point, right? Sometimes you get like that. Sometimes we get so negative. And it happens to everyone, even me. And I'm pretty positive most of the time. But it's like, man, you just keep getting beat down, beat down, beat down. Sometimes you believe it. And then you got to remember, why did I start fighting for what I want in the first place? And when you look back at that, mine always comes back to, I never want anyone else to feel how I felt most of my life when it came to how I looked, my body, how people treated me, all these things, right? And I wanted to stop the nonsense and change the situation. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I hope that it not only motivates you for your workouts, I hope it helps you stay consistent in your journey when you don't want to stay consistent, because that's the hardest part. Um, feel free to always reach out to me via Instagram is usually the easiest. Message me, I would love to know how you're doing, how everything's going. Because we are in this together. And I know even if you can feel very alone, by you posting, by you tagging, by people who, reshare my stuff, which is awesome, but like by putting it out there for people to see, who cares if you have 9,000 people that are like, wow, like whatever, negative comment, negative comment, negative comment. But having like those, that even that one person that you're like, man, like you changed my life, because whether it's they had a body size like you do, or they're young and they want to get into the fitness game, or they just don't even know what their purpose is in life, but they saw you and they were motivated by you. Like, and that's why, I say, like, even with this prep, I've been pretty transparent with everything, I feel like. But if you guys do still have more questions, like, by all means, I want to be able to help with that, and I want you to feel like, um, that you can always come and chat with me and everything like that too. But yeah. And I will say, when it comes to the food stuff, I'll talk about this more on another podcast after I'm done with the shows, just when I'm like clear headed and not, not running around all crazy. To address that. I don't know if I'll ever be that person that posts my food every meal, every this, every that, whatever. I feel like it can be very triggering to people, especially if you're an emotional eater, especially if you are, a former overeater or binge eater or anorexic or whatever, right? Um, you can say there's a freedom in it. There's that too. But I think there's just a healthy balance to everything. I personally didn't really post about my food and stuff during this prep um, because I don't want anyone to feel like they have to eat like I do. Like I don't want it to be classified to the point where they're like, "Well, you're a larger body and you eat this, so I want to eat that." I tailor all my clients' stuff. Like anything that I tell them, I give them suggestions and things like that, but like everyone should be eating different calorie regimens. Like everyone should be having a different way that they eat that relates to their lifestyle and their goals. You have two people that look very similar but have two totally different lives, right? One's a mom, one's not. One's metabolism super slow, the other one's not. The other, but they look just alike, but that doesn't mean that they should eat the same, right? So I definitely want to keep that in mind too. Because also like the reason I post all my workouts because one, I love posting my workouts. I think I look great. I think I look strong and sexy and beautiful. And I can't even believe sometimes that I'm still capable of doing amazing things while injured and everything, or fatigued or exhausted. And I'm like, man, this is such an accomplishment. And when I eat tilapia and rice, I'm not like, oh man, this is such an accomplishment. But it is. You know what I mean? Like it still is because it's like, wow, you're taking time to like meal prep and like whatever. So it is, but I don't know. So maybe the next time I'll post more about that kind of stuff. I just think that it needs to be authentic and real. And yeah, so for now, you got my mirror selfies and my workouts. And that's gonna have to keep you going for now. But if you're wanting to watch the show or come to the show, it's at the Municipal Auditorium and it's this Saturday. The first prejudging show starts at 9 a.m. Second starts at 4. I'm sponsoring the show. So the commercials that I'll be, Dani D Fitness will be putting on are, and the award I'll be giving out with Whitney Weiser will be happening at the 4 o'clock show. And then wellness category goes pretty much like towards the beginning. So if you're late, you're coming in at like 4:30, you may have missed me. You come in at like 9:30, you may have missed me. I don't know how it's going to run. So I definitely recommend getting there early. And if you're a Dani Fitness, ambassador or client or fan, or you just have a shirt, please wear a Dani Fitness shirt there. Represent. I want people to see all different bodies and sizes there. Because if you listen to me before when I went to the show before, like I guess over a year ago now, I felt like I was, I kind of stood out and that I really maybe wasn't supposed to be in that space. And I want everyone to understand that you are meant to be in that space and you are meant to take up space. No matter if you are off season, on season, in prep, not in prep, never going to do a bodybuilding show, wants to do a bodybuilding show, you're tall, you're small, you're like whoever. Okay, my guys, my girls, everybody. I want you to show up and know that this is, especially if you're in a healthy lifestyle regimen and you're like, man, I just want to like go enjoy and like see like, this type of thing. And maybe you're wanting to get a healthy lifestyle regimen. Like, I think it's cool. And again, I think it would be, I think when you go in there with the mindset of these people who are on stage worked really hard, whether that was, even if they are naturally smaller bodied, they still worked hard to be there. Because one, they showed up. Two, they probably ate, really well, really healthy. And the other thing that they worked out, right? And on a basic level, isn't that what you're trying to do too? Like work out more, eat more good foods, eat more throughout the time throughout the day, like and love yourself more, right? And so I think before I used to think it was such a vain thing or it's a this or that or whatever. And the poses are kind of silly. I get it. I'm still with you on that one. But it's like, man, just understanding that like even though it's not flipping a tire, the amount of work that went before this and even on that stage is still incredible. So when we kind of level and change the perspective and not just put people in boxes and stereotype them, I believe it's gonna make for better people overall, and it's gonna bring us all more together in the fitness community in Nashville, and all over. So yeah. And then if you want to watch the live stream, go to NashvilleFitShow.com and you can find the link to that. I believe it's $30 for the live stream. So you can go purchase your ticket. If you see me, snap a picture, tag me, whatever, that'd be awesome. But yeah, it's gonna be epic and just another way to break the stereotype and change the situation, just have some fun. So I will see you on Saturday. And guys, feel free to share this podcast with a friend, help motivate them. And I hope it continues to help motivate you guys. And until next time.